Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rock Wall Spock at you with the weekly comic book roundup. We're going to get started with the War of the Realms tie-ins, and well, kick things off with War of the Realms number 5. I gotta say that if there's one thing I absolutely love about this event, it's that it's quick. And seriously, this started 2 months ago, and we're on the next to last issue already. So there we go. All right, so where we left off, the heroes of Earth were basically preparing a not a counteroffensive against Malekith and his forces. All right, so we kick things off in orbit of the sun, on a space boat. It's one of those cosmic things where they make boats that can operate in space. But it turns out that the world tree has grown out of the sun. Seems there was a seed of the world tree, Yggdrasil, growing in Asgardia when the city of the gods was destroyed at the sun. The seed, however, was too strong to burn and took root in the sun. And so Thor goes to seek an answer for things, much like his father once did. Cuts to Wakanda, and the Dora Milaje are taking on the War Angels. And oh boy, are they winning. They've also got backup from the Punisher and his Light Elf Rifle Brigade, who are totally content to use conventional firearms on the Angels. And Balder, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, even Spider-Man are involved in the battle in South America against Gamora. She-Hulk is fighting. She-Hulk, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Iron Fist, and Daredevil are operating out of Australia. And Brew of the X-Men has hacked the Roxxon hackers. And he does have some backup in the form of Khazar, Blade, and the gods of the Veneer, the immortal lords and ladies of Vanaheim, who are going after what's his full name? Dario Agger, the CEO of Roxxon. And, yeah. Vibranium bullets and spear gun gear. Or Gungnir, sorry. Which also causes the stock price to plummet. Then in Shanghai we got Miss Marvel taking on the Queen of Cinders. Shang-Chi, Hawkeye. I'm not sure who that is behind Hawkeye. A new iteration of the Warriors 3 featuring Fandral, Hogan, and Wolverine. Fandral wants to keep Wolverine. The Fantastic Four and Iron Man are working on taking back Manhattan. Captains America and Britain are working on retaking London, and Curse is powered by the living soul of Volstagg the Voluminous. Or Curse is fighting the Destroyer, who's being powered by Volstagg the Voluminous. And the Destroyer is whooping Curse's ass. Keep in mind, this all happens before the beginning of the book, where Thor went to the World Tree. He's trying to find Malekith. So now, Thor is nailed to the World Tree by his axe, Yarnborn. The legends say that once upon a time, Allfather Odin hung himself from the World Tree Yggdrasil for 9 long nights without food or water until he died and became wise. Such was the price he paid to gain the secret knowledge of the runes. Thor does not have 9 nights, not if he wants to save everything he has ever loved. As battle rages across Midgard, the invading armies are beginning to falter. It is said that Ulik and the trolls are surrendering, that the Queen of Heaven has been sent to Hell, that King Lofe will soon be the last frost giant left raging in Manhattan. And Malekith is dead, some whisper. Killed at the fall of the Black Bridge in Svartalheim. But for days, Thor has known that isn't true. Even before he heard the Dark Elf's voice in his head. Cutting back to earlier, we find out what it was that Malekith said to Thor. My dearest God of Thunder, this war has claimed so many lives. I fear it will soon claim 2 more, unless we finish it the way it was always meant to be. Only Thor can cross the magical barriers I've erected around the place called Stonehenge. If anyone else tries to enter the Ring of Stones, Odin and Freya will die rather horribly, I'm afraid. Odin, of course, tries to warn him off. And is injured for... Excuse me, for his efforts. Kind of go back. We got then we open up with Thor on World Tree saying that there must be a way. Then Jane says there must always be a Thor, and sometimes there must be more than one. So, it's like Jane Foster's about to become Thor for a little while again. And that's the end of the issue. This being the next to last issue of the series. Moving on to New Agents of Atlas, number 3. Where we left off, our heroes had discovered Queen Cinder's grand plan. Melt the ice caps and turn Earth into New Muspelheim. In South Korea, the gathered heroes, some taken from their homelands, aren't too happy about the state of things and argue about them. However, Shang-Chi kind of puts first sword master in his place by promptly disarming him, explaining that he has a nice weapon and he should learn how to hold it. So they get to their base, touch base with a representative of Future Avengers of Tokyo, Red Feather from the Triumph Division in the out of Manila in the Philippines, and the Monkey King from the Ascendants in Beijing. Basically, just everyone's status reports. But they've got a plan, and they also intend to eat up while they wait. So, once everyone's fed and feeling better, the plan is enacted, and so Cinder, the Queen of Cinders, has opened the Black Bifrost and is about to send her forces through to start melting the ice caps. And also trying to make sure that Malekith doesn't sense what she's up to. However, she's interrupted by Amadeus Cho. He manages to fight off some of her forces along with some of the other Asian heroes, but soon enough he is overpowered. And let's see. Wave, Arrow, and Luna Snow work together to refreeze the ice caps. They're already beginning to melt. However, sadly, Amadeus gets captured. So everyone else joins forces, including Monkey King from the Ascendants. Yes, including Monkey King from the Ascendants. But it's time for some training. And Monkey King objects to Shang-Chi leading the training, as Shang-Chi is simply a mortal. But Shang-Chi quickly proves why he's the one doing the training. And once everyone's in place, Cho says, hold the line and he'll see them soon. And he says as he's being held by the arms from the feet, by the talons of whatever that creature is that Cinder is flying aboard. That's one thing about this event. There have been some really neat visuals. Alrighty. And because unless you're an Avenger named Captain America, your solo book ends up having to be your solo book does get co-opted by the War of the Realms. So we move on to Captain Marvel number 6. So, in War of the Realms, Captain Marvel has been trying to coordinate the various counteroffensives on Earth as much as she can. This has included various Avengers and Avengers allies, including Black Widow, Winter Soldier, Doctor Strange, and so forth. In Rio, Black Widow and Winter Soldier are dealing with the Enchantress's Lord of the Dead, or Army of the Dead. And there comes a point when Widow appears to have an opening to attack Enchantress. And she takes advantage of it. But she gets knocked away. And then she has a vision of Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, and herself coming towards Enchantress in Rio. So she tells Bucky a little bit about it, and they head out. Meanwhile, as she's leaving the general area, Black Widow informs Captain Marvel what she saw. They argue a bit about Carol being funny. And Widow tells her what she saw. A few hours later, Carol arrives in Rio and promptly hugs Black Widow for, intimating that she's not funny. And also because, well, she didn't get a chance to hug her before, and she's glad Natasha's alive. So, they track down Doctor Strange, fight together, and then Enchantress shows up, casts a quick spell, and next thing you know, Carol Danvers is in Stephen Strange's body, and Stephen Strange is in Carol Danvers' body. And that did not exactly come out the way I wanted it to come out. But you know what I mean. And they kind of, they talk about, like, Strange's hands always hurt. And Stephen never realized just how powerful Carol was. And also, they also talk about how there's an inner monologue about how Carol feels connected to everything while in Stranger's body. But it's a lot of arguing about who they are and trying to get the other to, be able, trying to make themselves useful. But they're soon attacked by another batch of the dead, and that's where the issue ends, with Carol Danvers trying to cast Expecto Patronum, and Stephen Strange wondering just how Carol's ridiculous sparkly hands work. That's the end of that issue. Moving on to Deadpool number 13. Because that's right, not even Deadpool's immune from a tie-in to War of the Realms. So, Deadpool sums up War of the Realms in the most perfect manner to Blind Al right off the bat. Though he starts it with, from the beginning, as in the beginning. God created man in his own image, took a rib, made woman, blah, 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 yeah. But, so she said, no. Just why you're being sent to Australia. So, this is the best way to sum this up I've ever heard. War of the Realms, let's see. Malekith got all the realms together and was like, we should totally team up and go to New York. It's super small, but 90% of Earth's heroes live in a clump there, making it super easy for us to kill them all. You had a good point. I feel like Reed Richards and Doc Strange are smart enough to have thought of that earlier. Anywho, the Doctor tried to stop Malekith, but that didn't go well for them. Eventually, all the superheroes ran off to hide from Malekith at the Avengers' new house. The giant robot in the mountain, up by Santa's crib. Malekith sent his minions all over the world. Hey, you. Go over there and do some evil stuff and let it be known that I'm the boss of them now. So they better just shut their dumb mouths. The Queen of Cinders got Asia. The Dark Elves were sent to Europe. The Queen of Heaven was assigned to Africa. Enchantress went to South America. Dario Agger was handed Antarctica. North America was given to the Frost Giants. Then he pointed at his most feared lieutenant and said, "You lick." Do you mean Ulick? Fine. Let me fuck my storytelling flow here. But sends Uluk down to Australia. And while Deadpool said he'd never join any other teams, he guesses that, the writer didn't care and wanted to put him on another couple of other Avengers. So, new wartime digs. He's, of course, saying this in the mountain. But then apparently Captain Marvel started getting weird, saying things like, "That's not a knife. This is a knife." And let's throw that shrimp on the bobby. And then there's a reference to Steve Irwin, and Blind Al even says, too soon, and there will always be too soon with Steve. So yeah, he's going to go to Australia to help defeat the trolls. So he's packing. And his ride, it turns out, is none other than Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Oh, and Deadpool brought movies, including Pretty Woman, 10 Things I Hate About You, Breakfast Club, it looks like, 27 Dresses in there. So they fly in a not exactly direct path. And Negasonic just kind of tosses Wade out into the outback, right up in the faces of a few trolls. The fight between him and the trolls does not go too well until he's rescued at the last minute, while running, I might add, by a souped-up truck that looks like it came out of a Mad Max movie. He gets taken to... and so he's taken to the base of the remaining good guys. Turns out that the trolls actually really love the outback, because it's closer to their home. But harsh terrain, every kind of vicious critter you can think of, plenty of land to burrow in to make their caves. But some of the trolls seem to be trying to convince Uluk to, just like, hey, we've got all of this to ourselves. Why do we need to go and take over when we've got all this already? And they seem to no hurry to come to do anything to us. So, but of course, yeah, no, you're supposed to take over, dude. So he's introduced to, and so Deadpool gets introduced over to Australia's heroes: Nancy Nuke, who can turn almost anything into a nuclear bomb; Captain Outback, who can fly and is pretty strong, or as he puts it, really strong. And, well, maybe kind of somewhat strong. And then we've got Tasmanian Devil. Can't really say the full name because of a bunch of copyright, trademark, legal mumbo jumbo. Or you can just refer to him as Gene. Him and Nancy are married. And it's not exactly the most harmonious marriage, sadly. Captain Outback tries to, work together. And then Deadpool interrupts for Baldwin. He is the Avenger that was sent down to Australia to help them. Anyway, in the Outback, Uluk has finally decided that, okay, it's time to take out the humans in Australia. Gives a quick rousing speech. We've enjoyed this horrid land for long enough. We are many and the humans are too few. We will wait no longer. Our time is now. We will take this land as ours. Now, go forth and leave no human alive. So, yeah. And that's where the issue ends. But as we saw in War of the Realms number 5, additional Avengers do show up to help out. So, yeah. Now I was planning to cover Journey into Mystery number 4 this week. However, I was unable to get myself a copy of Journey into Mystery number 3. So there's a gap that Anywho, that's it for this part of the roundup. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon are in the description box down below. Hit the notification bell to be informed when I put up new content. And as always, this is the Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.